Hey, this is Mrozzaful, and this is 10 Things to Do in Assassin's Creed 3. These aren't in any particular order, but I've started with combat as it's one of the most common things you do in the Assassin's Creed games. I've begun with using rope darts, which is a new thing in Assassin's Creed. Not really new to the video game world, this has been used in various other games, but it's the first time it's been seen in Assassin's Creed. Rope darts are good for long range stuff, such as taking down people with guns or like people on rooftops, but it can also be used in just common things to bring someone close to you to take down for the easy kill, as I just shown. AC's combat is much more fluid than the other games. Stuff like countering is much more easier, as with countering you only have to press down one button, which will slow down time for you to press another one of the four buttons, as you're about to see, to choose what action you want to do. In this example, I held down the B button and then press X to do a counter kill, which makes life easier. Your counter kills kind of depend on what secondary weapon you've chosen. For example, if you've chosen a gun, you will do your little counter cinematic and then shoot them at the end. If you have a bow, you use a bow on them, rope dart, etc, etc. This is one showing a bit of the rope dart mechanics as in pulling someone off a building, which is so much easier in this game than it is in any other game. But this is also show off the rope dart's ability to hang someone, which adds like a new type of assassination into the game, and also just kind of cool cinematics. Show this again right here, and this is another me showing of someone pulling off a building. Yeah, it's good image of seeing people hanging off trees. A lot of fun. Other things that are combat that's being improved in AC is stuff like subtle assassinations is much more easier, as you can take down multiple targets quite easily. Stuff like triple assassinations, which you can do with the bayonet, and double assassinations, which have been introduced to most weapons. Also stuff like taking down multiple targets really quickly is easy, especially down with the hidden blade, as you'll see here now. Like walking up to a group of 3 people, you can take them down within seconds, whereas in the other games it would be much more delayed. And AC3 has introduced the running and killing option, which has been very different with the other games, where you've had to stop, kill them, and then keep on walking, whereas in this game it's much more fluid, you can just run and kill. Something that you'll also be seeing now, which is very soon, is the double counter option, which allows you to take down multiple targets really quickly. And here it is. The second things I chose was the Palour games. These are about 5 or 6 games which you can do if in your off time with the storyline, or just random mucking around. You can bet on it as well, earning yourself some money by playing games. One of the options is, of course, checkers, as you can see, and there's other options which are very unique to this game, such as 9-man Morris, 12-man Morris, and a few other games which are unique to that time period and this game. This will show off of those 2 games as well as checkers. Learning the new games that they introduced in this is very easy. It's very easy to get used to the different game types, but also it's nice to go from the storyline and play just a game of chess or game one of the new games. And though they're not really integrated with the story that much, there are just little sections of the storyline where you are, kind of doing like a social thing while you're playing a game. This will just kind of show off a few of the other games, this is 9-man Morris, which this game involves basically complicated tic-tac-toe, whereas if you get 3 in one line, you can take away one of their pieces, and the aim is just to take away all their pieces. You start off with 9 pieces, as it's called 9-man Morris, and you just kind of like run around, and then 12-man Morris, of course, you start with 12 pieces. This is pretty much me losing, but you kind of see him move his 3rd piece and me lose a piece. This is what's good about this game also, is that you can find these things really easily. There's taverns all over every area, which will have at least 3 people who you can play with on this place. And if you go to the homestead, there will be one of each game, depending on if you've gotten all the characters or not. But it's very easy to play these games, and you can just come from the storyline and just go straight into it. This is just 12-man Morris, which is essentially the same as 9-man Morris, except a different board, and you get 12 pieces instead of 9 pieces. Just kind of skip to it, kind of show you a bit into the game. Yeah, as I said, these games are really easy to pick up, and you can just kind of go straight into it. And it's a lot of fun just coming through. You can verse people with very different levels. As you talk to someone, they'll tell you what game that they have and what level of difficulty they are. It's a lot of fun just to verse someone really hard or verse someone really easy. Get easy money. That's all for Palour games. There's an example of the 3 men, 3 in a row, and then you lose a piece. Yeah, here's the third one. The third one I've chosen today is tree free running. This is very unique to AC3 in the video game world as well as the AC world. As in the AC world, you couldn't even touch a tree barely. You couldn't really do anything. It's something so simplistic that they didn't introduce to the game. Tree free running is so much better than on houses, which they've almost done on purpose so you can use the trees. Using the trees is much more subtle than using buildings, and it's definitely much more better to use for assassinating and hunting. All free running is in this game, like all free running including buildings, is just holding down one button, whereas in the other games would you be holding down the run button and the fast walk button. That creates much more easier gameplay and much easier to maneuver yourself around the map. Stuff like running and aiming your positioning to where you want to go isn't as much of a hassle in this game, as your character will kind of grab the next branch. So by just pressing forwards and holding down the free run button, you'll just instantly go forwards, no matter what direction. And then there's a few exceptions to that, where you will go up on a certain tree, or you'll have 2 options to go. But otherwise, navigating is very, very easy. Natural ramps or trees with little stumps on them will be everywhere, so getting into the trees isn't actually that hard. And stuff like hunting and eavesdropping is much easier up in the trees, as eavesdropping on a big group is much easier because you can maneuver yourself much easier and be very subtle, rather than be hiding in the bushes where you would be very much less maneuverable, and or walking, which is much more less subtle. Stuff like, but yeah, general movement in the trees is just fluid, feels right, and just kind of have a lot of fun with it. It's not really integrated with the story, as most of your stuff is in the city, but you do have a bunch of scenes in the forest which you can do, and there's so much more extra quests that you can do in this game that involve the forest that you can just muck around in there anyway. But yeah, tree free running is a lot more fun than going through houses, as this game has kind of showed us. But that's an example of one of the ramps in there. Here's an example of us running up the ramp and jumping on a tree. There's various different tree types that you can hang out on. There's a tree types that are just straight, which you just walk on. Ones you can climb on, and then there are ones that you just kind of go around on. There's feathers in the trees in the game. That's one of the collectibles you can get in this game, which are just feathers you can just collect. And there's various other stuff you can do in the trees, just to kind of muck around. But yeah, here's another one of the natural ramps. And that's it. Thank you, that's it for this week. I'll probably be back next week with another video. Cool.